Richey and Freekbass. Thank you very much for talking with me today. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Thanks for having us.
I guess my most obvious question is, how did the two of you end up deciding to collaborate? Because you're both well established in funk and blues, and so there is some correlation, but how did that all originally happen?
I was seeking to make a change, and I had been working on new material all summer and fall.
Mm-hmm.
And I got an email from Freekbass saying, you know, I hear you're looking to make some changes, and I dig what you do, and would you like to talk? And, you know, like having the Kelly Richey band, that's kind of what I do, and I knew Freekbass, that's what he did, so it never crossed my mind that we'd ever like play together. And I'm like, wow, how cool would that be? And so I said, absolutely, I'd love to talk.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the next thing that I wanted to find out from Freekbass was, how do you envision this happening? Do you want to co-front this? And he said, you know, I'd really like to enhance what you're doing and start there. And, you know, which I was, you know, flattered and honored. It's like, wow, that, you know, and then it's like, so, you know, I don't play funk. I'm very funky. It's like, do you do blues? And he's like, well, yeah. I was like, I know you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, what's this gonna be? And so we started getting together once a week and exploring stuff. And wow, you know, it was so refreshing. And then we started auditioning drummers. And it was funny because a lot of people that came over, you know, they were like really trying to do the funk thing with Freekbass. And finally we found this chick in Louisville that really didn't have any clue what his background was.
That's
and
good.
so she just came in and played the drums. And she nailed it,
Yeah.
you know, and it was like, wow, this is...
It was of all the auditions we had, it was the first time we actually sounded like a band.
Yeah.
That's the first thing when Kelly and I, you know, we talked after, you know, the drummers would leave or were tearing down, kind of get an immediate reaction from each other. And, you know, we had a lot of really good players
Yeah.
auditioning. I mean, they were like,
Absolutely.
you know, top of the line type players, but it never really felt like a band
Yeah.
until Jen, you know. Like
It felt
the
like
first-
three musicians instead
Right.
of it
Right.
gelling, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And when Jen came, she just was like the glue, you know.
Right.
And she's played a lot of rock, she's played a lot of country.
Yeah.
She's a teacher, you know. She teaches. She's
Which
got a
we both
full-time
do,
load.
obviously,
Yeah.
so
No, that's true,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there was just a lot of there was just a real connection. She played with a lot of dynamics. She, you know, really listened to what I was singing. Really laid down a big pocket for him to do what he does. Because the last thing we need is a real, you know, busy drummer.
Yeah, like when you know, a lot of times with funk, a lot of people like make the mistake. Drummers, in my opinion, sometimes over syncopate. So like, you know, every little rhythm I'm doing, they're trying to mimic it, you know. Which sometimes that works, you know, sometimes it does, but sometimes it almost works the opposite way, or can make it less funky, because it's like, you know, just playing 4 on the floor, you know, straight 4 on the floor. That's sometimes what you want. You listen, like, say, some old Prince stuff, and it's like, it's just boom, clap, clap on the drums the whole time, and then everything around it is what makes a groove. So, and she kind of has, Jen had that kind of aesthetic, you know. When I, you know, if I'd get busy or Kelly get not really busy, but if we get kind of groovy, she would kind of just keep in pocket, you know.
Because I'm a real
awesome.
syncopated player too.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was just really nice that she really lays it down. Great. And yeah, it's going to be really fun to see how this organically comes together.
So tell me about, there's also a new album, obviously. How is that coming along?
You know, it was just about the time that I started booking time in the studio to go in and do the record, that Freekbass, you know, came into the picture, and I played him some of the stuff, you know, and he really dug it, and it's like, cool, you know, would you like to play on the record, you know? And that was really the first time we'd really played together, except for auditioning, you know, a handful of drummers.
Right.
And, you know, it's been a point of curiosity for both of us. It's like, you know, what's this like? You know, what's the sound going to be like? It was so nice. You know, I'm kind of a guitar solo, very long guitar solo. And this is a real departure from that. These are songs.
Yeah.
And the average length of song on the CD is 3 minutes. But they're all, songs that we can take to the stage, and they're like a ball of clay. We can stretch them out if we want.
Well, that short songs, that's probably new for you too. I mean.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely, I'm in the same ballpark, yeah.
Yeah, so, then when we shot a video last Sunday, and we did a band practice after that, and we were like in a big 4,000 square foot, space, so we could like actually, we were in the basement, and we started jamming on some songs. It was just so much fun, because when he just stretches out, it's like, I'm just in heaven, because it's so interesting, and it's just this wall of sound and this force, and it's
Well, Kelly, to me, like, I've told this to her when we first started playing, a lot of times with like people think of like, especially like P-Funk and George Clinton and stuff, a lot of people like, I think of more like the later 70s, early 80s, like, the Mothership stuff, like Flashlight and Atomic Dog and that kind of era, but what they a lot of times what gets not as looked at as much as the early funkadelic stuff, and that's what Kelly's stuff sounds like. A lot of it sounds like early funk. I mean, that stuff is just funky blues, all that early funkadelic, like some of those licks that we play, they could be like one of your songs.
That's really kind of what this is.
Yeah.
Kind of hovering around, just via osmosis almost from where we both come from. It's like funk and psychedelic. It's like, almost like this, new birth of that, and not trying to do so. It's just where we happen to
it's
come
very natural.
from.
Yeah.
It's bizarre, and so I'm going back learning all this old Eddie Hazel stuff that I'd listened to, but it's like, wait a minute, I'm gonna go back and spend some time there, and I've been having a blast.
Yeah, and ironically, when I was like, my very first band when I was 13, 14 years old playing bass in, was a blues band. We were like a bunch of kids. We were playing like B.B. King, Bobby Blue Bland, Ry Cooder. So in a way, it's almost kind of doing like a full yin yang thing for me now, which is bizarre, Yeah.
When do you think the album's going to be?
The release date. Yeah, the release date is set for March 1st.
Okay.
But I will probably have it in early February.
Okay.
There's a chance that I'll have it for a Louisville show on March 1st, just for our fan base release. But it's released to the market on the 1st of March.
Okay. And what are some of your upcoming shows, I guess, since you have a new tour books now?
Yes, our first show in Cincinnati is going to be at Legends Nightclub. On the west side, on Harrison Avenue. And that's on Friday, January the 11th. And it's an 8 o'clock show. So it's nice. We'll do 2 shows that night. And they have food next door, so come, order some food, come have a great time. I mean, it's going to be fun. Can't wait.
And where can we find out about all this cool information as well?
KellyRichey.com. Awesome. And that's KELLY. RICHEY. My name is spelled so many ways. Even like
Mine
on a poster.
too.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard you.
Yeah, it gets misspelled quite a bit, so yeah.
Very nice. Well, thank you guys very much for talking with me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, I'm a fast talking mama.
Cool.
That's a ticket.
Yeah. And, one-way ticket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The song called I'm gonna buy me a one-way ticket.